If you were born at any other point in history, you would be completely stuffed.
I'm full of anti-talent.
What would you have done if programming wasn't a thing?
I would die in a ditch. I would. Really would.
It's a really happy tale, isn't it?
Yeah. So I want to talk about pointer events.
Right, so the CSS thing where you say pointer events none.
No, the other one.
Oh.
Because the other spec that they made, we thought, we're going to write a new spec. I know, let's name it exactly the same as its existing CSS property.
Yay!
No, I'm talking about the events one.
Oh, those are brilliant, right? Detailed spec, unifies touch and mouse pointers, and gives you all everything that you ever need to just bring it all together. Brilliant.
It's great. We're not doing it.
What?
We do have good reasons. It's a really detailed spec. It says the order of how everything should happen, but there are performance issues. It's very similar to mouse events, right? You know when you move a mouse across the screen and you get the mouse move events, and the target changes after every element.
Yep.
Pointer events works in the same way. And that means that as you're doing a touch action, it's going to have to do this hit test throughout the touch.
Oh.
Big performance problem. You can actually, to be fair to them, you can set a capture on it, but then you've still got the enter and leave events on the element that you've captured. That's a big performance no-no. And the unification stuff that you mentioned,
Yay.
it's not as good as you think.
Oh.
I don't know about you, but whenever I use touch events, which we already have, I usually use it because I want something special to happen with touch.
Yeah.
Like a swipe action or something that I wouldn't want to do with the mouse.
Right.
And that's what I find most of the time, that there are occasions maybe like a drag and drop action where you'd want touch and mouse doing the same thing, but mostly not that.
Okay.
And there are also features that it stops as well. So pointer events, what seems like another plus point for them is it's either the user agent, the browser, dealing with the touch stuff, or you.
Yep.
No in between. So if it starts scrolling, you're out of the picture. But we have features that need that. For instance, you're scrolling, you scroll to the top, and then you drag down.
Pull to refresh.
Pull to refresh.
Yep.
Right. So that's you letting the user agent do part of it, and then you want to take over at that point. You can't do that with pointer events.
That's horrible.
Right. And it's just all of these little things that have got in the way. But the main one is we already have touch events.
Yes.
In all the major browsers except IE. And pointer events are not good enough to justify kind of throwing that out, because we would have to support that for ages for all the sites anyway. And the good news as well is Internet Explorer, they recognize that touch is not going away, and they are going to implement it as well.
Hooray!
I wanted to get something else off my chest.
Not again.
I know. And I want to talk about getting undressed. Because it's not something I'm very good at. It's not something I'm very graceful at. But we bonded over something about this.
Yes, we did.
And I wanted to go over it again, because the final moment of undress, which is where I've gone through the clumsy uncool, underwear down, and then what happens?
You absolutely have to do a flick with your foot, whoop, catch, and then slam dunk into the wash basket.
And then all of a sudden, all of the clumsiness.
Yeah, it's gone, because you're naked and cool at that point.
Yeah, you're the coolest naked person in the room, right? But I was at home doing clumsy undress, and then the recovery, boom, and I thought of you. Paul. Naked Paul. How am I expected to live my life?
Now we get an API, the Web Smoothness API.